everyone, how are we? Welcome to this week's Watch Me Wednesday. Hi, it's another Wednesday. If you don't know who I am, my name is Natalie O'Shea. I am here on your Facebook page, feed, whatever you want to call it. Because I teach people how to make handmade cards, and I can sell you all the products that I use to do it too. So if you don't know who I am, if you've come across me in your news feed, or you've come across me on YouTube and you've not met me before, hello, this is me. This is me lockdown. So I need to start making excuses for grey hair, awful nails. I would never normally do videos with my nails looking like they are now, but you know, such is life. We have to accommodate and change to the times that we are in. So no judging me for the, actually that hand doesn't look too bad. They're all still on there except for they're about halfway up the nail. Yeah, this hand not so much. I am a nail biter, and so this is why I have acrylic nails on, because I bite my nails and I bite them till they hurt, and I don't stop just because it hurts. I've been a nail biter all my life. I don't think that's going to change. So yes, apologies for lockdown nails, and if I don't look down you can't see my lockdown grey hair. So there we go. But welcome. If you are here, give me a thumbs up or a heart. And I am here to just share. It's a quick one today. I'm making this card here, cute card today. And that's what we're going to be doing. There's not an awful lot to go over. I normally do say no news in the O'Shea household, but actually there is. We are now on day 8. Day 8 of self-isolating, because when I spoke to you last week, my son had a COVID test because his girlfriend had symptoms, and on Thursday, so that would be the day after this last week's Facebook Live, my son's test that he went to have came back positive, even though he had no symptoms, and he has had a few sort of niggling, little bit of breathing difficulty and coughs and things, but he's all right. He's all right now. He's 21. He's all right. But we are all on day 8. Thankfully, we all got negative tests, and he has been prisoned in his bedroom ever since. So yeah, that's it. So I thought, Mum, can I have a coffee? Mum, can I have my lunch? Mum, can I have this? Mum, can I have that? I feel like he's 8 again. But I would much rather that. We have come this far, and I'm touching wood and everything to, oh, there was the grey, to make sure that we are all well, and that we don't get it in the next couple of days, and then we are free. My poor old mum's been doing all my food shopping, bless her. I thought we were supposed to be doing it for our parents, but no, she's been doing it for me, thankfully. Something's just coming out of the printer. No, wrong way. That way. Oh, you still can't see. So yeah, so that's the update from here. That's been a little challenging, but to be fair, I don't go out much anyway. I haven't been able to go to the post office, and I haven't been able to go to Tesco's, but hey, that's no hardship. Have someone do my food shopping for me. It's been marvellous. But yeah, touch wood, we are all good. So there we go. So yes, and nothing really to update from if you were with me last week. Celebration is still on, and in fact this donkey set, which I nearly thought I hadn't got out then, the donkey set is one of the celebration items. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll see in the description, because I'm organised this week and it's already there. You can see there's a link to click, and you can find out more about our new catalogue, the January to June mini catalogue, and the celebration. But celebration basically is lots of things, but primarily we're focusing today on if you spend £45 in any products I use, any products available, you can pick this donkey set for free. So hi Ali, welcome. Ali and Polo, always here on a Wednesday. Thank you. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to go with it. There really isn't nothing exciting going on. Deliveries, if you have placed an order with me, I mean I have written to everybody, so hopefully you'll have seen that, but if you have placed an order with me, the joy that is Brexit, I mean we've had COVID, we've had Christmas, We now have Brexit, non-Brexit, whatever, to deal with. Does mean that deliveries have been a nightmare. My husband works for DHL. My my son's girlfriend works for UPS. And come the 1st of January, because there was change in procedures, lots of courier companies said, we're not going to ship to Europe or from Europe into the UK for a little while. And Stampin' Up wasn't one of those. So for those of you that don't know, we have a European warehouse. It's in Germany. We don't have a warehouse in the UK, but all the European orders are fulfilled from a warehouse in Germany. So obviously under normal circumstances, with the release of the new catalogue, which was the 5th of January, there's always an influx of orders. So whereas normally delivery is a couple of days, it does elongate to maybe 10 days right at the start of a new catalogue. Then it settles down and it's back to its normal 3 days. But oh no, not at the moment. We have customs, where there are customs issues that say there are carriers that stopped shipping both ways, which meant the likes of DHL and UPS suddenly have become overwhelmed. And they're still just getting on top of the process, really. I am optimistic, because that's me. I am optimistic that once the whole process gets sorted out and they start the ball rolling, it will all just carry on as normal. So, you know, I think that everyone's just getting their heads around new procedures, new paperwork, new this, new that. And if something doesn't tick the box, computer says no, and it goes in a pile until someone answers. But let's have a look. Who else have we got? Paula, afternoon, lunchtime at work. Got a good, well done you. Morning, no, afternoon, Jan. It is now afternoon, but only just. I'll forgive you. But yeah, so deliveries are taking a while. So orders placed from the 5th of January onwards are still not being received. Some are out for delivery, it looks, this week. But I have to say as well, normally UPS's system is pretty good. I'm not trusting it too much at the moment. So I'm not taking it as gospel for what they have. But I know lots of other people are having all sorts of problems with shipping all across the board. It's not just a Stampin' Up thing. It is a customs, a carrier kind of issue. So yeah, so just bear with us. If you say, I have written to you independently if you've ordered from me, and everyone's been really lovely. I mean, we're all in this together, and we all are waiting for things from everything. I have a friend who ordered something off of IKEA. She should have had it at the end of November. Her delivery date's been moved to the end of February. So that's 4 months. I'd like to think it's not going to take 4 months to get this sorted out. But there we go. So let's have a little movie down there. Hello, here we are. Oh, look at me, stuff everywhere. I'm so organised. But yeah, so here is the celebration brochure. And it is, these are the things that you can get for free with a £45 purchase. So this paper is one of them. But here is the donkey. So you can actually see, so if I do that, you can see the stamp set, which I'll show you in a minute anyway. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 samples on there. And you might recognise one as I move across there. But cute ideas. I've seen donkeys kick in 2020 into touch and more. But look, this is this card, but slightly different. So I've coloured mine slightly different. I like a brown donkey. I might go grey though, actually. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, so I got my idea from that. So you can always, just because this isn't a catalogue, doesn't mean you can't get ideas. So you can get. I did an email to my to people on my mailing list, which could be you if you want to sign up. That shared a couple of ideas yesterday. One of the ideas was that if you were to pick this, let's just say this card for example, you may not like donkeys, you may not like it, it's not my cup of tea, but it doesn't mean that you need to go past it. You can sit there and go, well actually I like the colours. And I'll explain a little bit about the colours in a second once I go and grab what's just been printed out. So it could be that you use the colours as inspiration for completely different design. Or it could just be the layout. You like the layout of a bit of pattern paper and some strips going across the middle with a central image there. So, and again, you could use completely different colours, completely different stamp sets or imagery. Or you can copy it exactly as it is and go from there. But the other things, quickly going through them, you've got an Approaching Perfection stamp set, some Oso Ombre paper, a Corner Bouquet stamp set. Look at this. These are gorgeous, aren't they? A Heal Your Heart, which is a beautiful set. I love the font. It's nice, thank you, but we're in this together. Some really encouraging words on there. Flower and Field pattern paper. I'm whizzing through just so you can see. I've done this before. A Touch of Ink. So this is a stamp set. That was what was featured in some of the cards that I shared with my my lovely people yesterday. But this is £90. So if you spend £90 on product, you get to pick that for free. Or you can pick a stamp set and some pattern paper as a set as well. Or you can pick 2 of the previous ones. So if you liked both of those, you could have both of those if you ordered £90 as well. So, what else have we got? Yeah, I think that's it really. You can of course join. The joining offer is on. It's normally £99. If you have a big wish list that gets to about £99 or more, I really would encourage you to just talk to me about signing up. I don't do hard sell, I don't do pressure, I just tell you the facts. So if you've got questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. But honestly, £99, you pick £130 of your choice. That's euros, 129 euros if you're in Europe. So £130 of your choice in anything, any catalogue, clearance rack, anything that's available. You pick it. It comes with free P&P, so you don't even pay the £4.95 P&P. I can't promise when you're going to get it, but it will arrive at some stage. But yeah, but also what you're going to get is 200 sheets of 6x6 paper as well, which again I've showed over the last few weeks anyway. But that would be good. You could use those papers to recreate this card with. But what's not to love? You know, why not give it a go? I am Mrs. Cynical. Oh, have I? Oh, I can see I've stopped. Okay. Might have to wait for it to catch up a minute. But can't remember what I was going to say now because I've been distracted by the fact I can't see myself. What's there? No. Oh, this isn't good. Right. Okay. Well, anyway. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back in the room. Right. So that was it. So you could use those papers to make this card, but they're actually papers that are going to appear in the new upcoming annual catalogue. It's not coming out till the summer, but you can get the papers early and they are gorgeous. So what I was going to say to you was, oh, she says, going over. So these are all the Stampin' Up colours. I mean, I know you can't see them very clearly, but you can see them roughly. So Stampin' Up use 50 colours, or 53 if you include the black, white and the vanilla. But colour-wise, 50 colours, and there's 4 main colour families: the neutrals, the brights, the subtles and the regals. People tend to fit into one category. If you like kind of pastels, you're very subtle. I'm a brights girl, I like the brights. Regals are a little bit strong for me, but again, that could be your thing. So people tend to kind of do this and get drawn towards one. Then we have just 2 sets of 5 in colours. So obviously colours are quite fluid, they ebb and flow. We have colours, Pantone colours of the year, not Pantene, the hair shampoo, Pantone colours of the year, which this year is a yellow, which maybe Bumblebee was ahead of its time there. But yes, and they rotate every 2 years, so they're both available, but it's every year we get a new one. So when the annual catalogue comes out in the summer, these colours here will go and some new ones will come in. And I have to say, this is what we're using today. So these are the in colours for 2020 to 2022, so they're around for another 18 months. I love them. I have to say, it's been one of my favourite sets. These were a little bit pastel-y for me. I'm a bright girl, so this is where we go. And you can see, if I show you those, there they all are. Oh, hello. You can see them there. And I love them. And the great thing with Stampin' Up colours is, if you struggle with what colour goes with what, if you pick any colour within a colour family, they are the same tonal value. And what that means is that I could pick Blushing Bride, Balmy Blue and Mint Macaron, and they would all go. They wouldn't be a clash of colours. Whereas if I kind of picked a Bermuda Bay instead of a Mint Macaron, it starts becoming, the tonal values change and it starts becoming a little bit clashy. So if you stick to one colour family, you cannot go wrong. You can mix and match as many as you like. But yes, so there's our kind of colours as such. And as I say, we're going to be using these in colours today. So I've already been going 15 minutes, look at that. I was going to be quick today. So I am organised. I have cut and, not stuck, but cut all my bits that I need for today. This is the Darling Donkey stamp set. So you 3 different images, in fact. So I might choose a different one today, or maybe not. Don't know, we will see. In fact, you can choose. If you're on here and you're listening, which one would you like me to do? So this is the standing up one with the rose in his mouth, and you might just want me to show you that one. Or we can have the sitting down one or the kicking one. What do you fancy? You let me know and I'll go with what you say. But anyway, so hey there friend, you're the best, and it's your birthday. So good images, proving really, really popular. And it is a cling mount stamp set. So what that means is that it's red rubber on a sponge, and that means it has to have an acrylic block or something. Acrylic blocks are the professional things to use, but trust me, in the past I've used, mistakes me, CD cases, stamp pads. When you're desperate. When you're desperate, you'll do anything because they'll stick to anything. Right, so I've got a sitting one. Right, 2 votes for sitting. Okay, so let's go sitting. I haven't used him yet. So all I do, for those of you who are new and haven't used stamps, I don't tend to put these stickers on the back. I know. They're kind of sticky enough for me without making them super sticky. So I just leave that in there. Sometimes I put them on the case so I know if I'm missing a stamp or something. But literally I've just kind of peeled that off. And then I have to have an acrylic block. Now, I've picked an acrylic block. Right, first of all, I'm going to use, so if I had grid paper down, which I haven't, but this has got grid on it, I would always make sure my block is straight, because he's got a bit of a straight bit going on there. So I'm going to try my best, or it gives me the best. Look, concentrating there. Did you tell I went quiet? There we go. It gives me the best start to getting that as straight as I can. We're not gonna worry too much. But in fact, I've just decided I'm gonna do something else. But anyway, so that's stuck on, and then it just sticks. That's it. I'm not sat there and glued it on or anything like that. Now, my advice to you is to always, if you've got the luxury of a selection of blocks, then great. But let me show you, for example. So, and always stick your stamp in the middle of a block. So if I was to just stick him on there in any which way, there we go, then as I go and ink up, I've got this big block to kind of do, which is great because big blocks do take all sorts of stamps. But the problem is, if I don't put him in the middle, I've got it's really easy to, when I go and ink him up, to get ink all around the edges. When I go and try and stamp him, I'm going to rock it everywhere and I'm going to get an outline on there. So first of all, if you haven't got a selection of blocks, then put him as in the middle as you can, because then you've got, it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit less, it will still rock, but it's a little bit less likely to do so. But if you have got a choice, then try and go for the block that is the nearest, I'm moving that round, it is a rectangle, it's not a square, I know it looks like a square, to the nearest that it will fit on easily. I mean, let me go next block down, just so you can get an idea. And the thing I love about the Stampin' Up blocks are when we only had wood mount stamps, so these would be stuck on a piece of wood and you wouldn't take them off. They used to be more expensive, it's not very sustainable, so Stampin' Up have actually stopped doing wood mount stamps anymore, because once you've got blocks, you've got them for life, they're not going anywhere, they don't wear out, which is why I would suggest a good selection of, but these are shaped like wood blocks. So again, cheaper blocks have sharp edges, so they'll be flat there, and they'll have sharp edges on the corner here, and pointy corners, which can be quite dangerous. I've had a bit of an injury with one before, whereas the Stampin' Up ones are all nice and curved. They've got a ridge, so you can hold your fingers in there. Again, don't judge me, lockdown nails. And they're exactly the same weight as the wood mount stamps used to be, so they're not light. They're a reasonable weight, but just so it's more sturdy for you. But if, for example, I mean, he probably could just about squeeze on that, but I might miss off his ear. So as close as you can, as straight as you can, on a block as near to the size as you can. Did you all know that about blocks? Cheaper ones do hurt your hands, I know. Hello, Heather. Right, so what have we got? So let's move all this out of the way. So if you do want measurements for this, I'm not going to go through measurements now, or if you do want to recap because you can't remember what I did, then every time I do one of these videos on a Wednesday, I do produce a PDF. And you'll see the link in the description, because I've been organised again today. You'll see the description, or if you're watching on YouTube, you'll also see the description as well. Then you can just sign up. So you can sign up and just get this PDF. So if you like this card and you go, yeah, I want a list of what she has used, and the list of all the products are on there, the prices, links to the online shop if you want them, are all on this PDF together with pictures and instructions, written down instructions. So you can either just get this as a one-off, or if you're not part of my Facebook group, then every week I put them in there. Now, unfortunately, this isn't a group for other Stampin' Up demonstrators. Sorry. But if you're not a Stampin' Up demonstrator, then if you join that Facebook group, the link is in the description, then you can, then every Wednesday I will load. So once I've done this, I will upload this to the Facebook group. So that way you don't miss any. If you go into the files, you can always find the files, and if you scroll up and down the news feed, you can always find them in there as well. So if you want access to every week, then just join the Facebook group. It's as simple as that. Right, so let's get started, because I say this is super simple, super quick. But because Mr. Sitting Donkey, I could do Sitting Donkey and that, but I think I'm going to turn my card that way and go, oh, I don't know, Sitting Donkey. There, that's what I think I'm going to do. So, I have here a sheet of A5 black cardstock. So it's A4, just cut in half in the middle and then just folded again. As always, I say to you, whilst your fingers and fingernails are good enough, maybe not at the moment if you're me, a bone folder is your best friend. So I'm not a scorer before. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I obviously have the measurement wrong, but if I score then fold, it always slightly overlaps. So I don't score. I fold my card. I make sure that corner and that corner match or on top of each other, and I use my bone folder like that. So bone folders used to be made of bone. They're made of plastic now. But there you go. So that's my base card. So of course you could make a bigger card if you wanted this to be an A5 card with multiple donkeys on. Knock yourself out. You just need to make the bigger base card. And then I have some of the in colour DSP. Now DSP is a Stampin' Up term for pattern paper. So paper is quite thick though. Stampin' Up's paper is really good quality. So you get, there's 4 different patterns. So you can buy a whole pack of pattern paper for each colour family. So each of the 4 main colour families, and then you can get another 2 packs for just the in colours. And I should have got this here actually, but one pattern is the wood grain, one is the text, one is the circles, and for the life of me, I cannot remember. Oh, there you go. It's like a, yeah, it's like a, I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to call it? Like, look like tyre marks to me. So bring it up there. Can you see that? Ooh. It's that. It's whatever that is. Bit shabby chicy. What's that for? I don't even know what I've got a bit of card in there for now. Right, okay, so I could do that, but I'm going to go wood grain because we are going to go that way. So, all I do, get my Tombow out, or multi-purpose adhesive. Oh, mind you, this one's running out. There we go, a bit of a tap, and there. And it always seems that when you think that's run out, you give it a tap and a bit of patience, and it lasts for a good few more cards. So I'm going to put that on and make sure that I have an even border all the way around. Now this multi-purpose glue means I've got about 2 or 3 seconds to wiggle it around and get it perfect. So it doesn't stick instantly. You've got that little bit of wiggle room. So now I'm going that way. And then I'm going to... Well, should I do the other side? Should I do this side? Let's do that side. Let's mix it up a little bit. Why don't we? Right. Oh, a bit too much there. You can, of course, use a tape as well, but a tape is pretty instant. That kind of sticks where you stick it, which is good in some cases, but not necessarily in others. And what I'm going to do, again, if I had grid paper down, I'd use grid paper, but I've got lines on here. So what have we got? I'm going to count in the squares. and I'm going to find the middle. Look at that, the middle is that one there. So I'm going to put, oh, let's put yellow in the middle. Hey, and I've lost where it was already. I'm going to have to count again. There. Right, so I'm going to put my first one. Look at that. And if I get it, oh, I've just bumped my camera. Sorry about that. Trying to get my head. It doesn't look centred, does it? Have I done that wrong? No, I haven't. Go me. There we go. That's the centre of the card. And then one each side. So I'm just going to butt those up against. Again, you could leave gaps if you wanted to. Or should we mix things up a little bit? Let's mix it up. Let's have a little gap. Oh, look at me getting all off-pieced. All right. But now what I've got to do is make sure that this one goes about the same distance. And there's no measuring now. No square counting now. Oh. There we go. That'll do. That's as good as, bearing in mind we're going to be covering it anyway, and you're only going to see the top and the bottom. So there we go, so that's a little bit of space. And that's all I need with that, although she says, did you know that we have normal dimensionals, and dimensionals are just 3D foam tape in hexagons, so they're our mini ones. We have black ones. How clever was that? That someone sat there and went, I don't want white dimensionals under my card if I've got a dark bit of card. So whilst you can't see that at the moment, because it's got a bit of white on, I'm going to stick this on so I don't lose this as well, because again, I'm not doing anything with that. Peel off the backing. Ta-da! Look, black dimensionals. So clever. Oh dear. This is just the sticky cutting and sticking bit at the moment. I haven't even started the exciting one. Look, see, because I've got no nails, I can't peel it off. But how are we? Where's the weather? What's the weather like where you are? Is it as awful as it is here? Right, going in again to get the centre. Again, I'm eyeballing that and that and that and that. And my 3 lines as well. But see, that's already stuck down, so I'm going to go with that. There we go. And that's I'm going to put to one side for the moment because I don't need that anymore. So it just gives, can you see? Maybe not. Oh, I don't think you can you really? No, because they're black. If they were white, you'd see them. But that's the genius. Anyway, that's now raised up a little bit. And again, it doesn't have to be centre. It could be right over here. It could be in a corner. It could be wherever you wanted to. But let's go. I don't know why I had this bit of blue in there. Who knows? Let's get rid of that. Right, so this is my piece that I'm going to stamp and colour. So because I'm going to be colouring, or I was going to be colouring, with blends, I'm feeling the need for a bit of a grey donkey. I don't know why. So whereas he was brown before, I'm going to get out my smoky slate. And I'm going to do my donkey smoky slate grey. But you always need to have, when you're colouring, these are alcohol-based markers, which mean they blend together really nicely and they're very lovely and vibrant. But if I was to stamp with something like a Stays-On ink pad, like a black Stays-On, that is also alcohol-based. And once I stamped him and started colouring, all the alcohol would mix together and it would go all smeary and horrible. So think of the kind of, what is it, oil and vinegar? Or oil and water? You have to have opposites so they don't mix together. So this memento isn't, it's a dye ink based and it isn't alcohol based. So it basically means when you stamp it, it won't smear with these. So if you're using alcohol based markers and don't want smearing, memento is your ink. Now, I would normally stamp with my Stamparatus in case I get it mucked up. But what am I going to do? I'm going to go, I'm going to go this one. So again, I always try and put my card straight. So again, I give myself the most pressure of stamping live. So Heather says it's raining buckets. It's wet and miserable there. It's lovely and sunny here. Where are you, Tina? I can't remember. Can you send it down here? Because it's horrible here. Oh, look at that. So there he is. I have to say that's a little bit faint. I'm over it. There are some things that you could do. So I do have, oh, that's basic grey. If you weren't happy with your stamped image, if you had, so when I say a Stamparatus is a stamping platform. You've seen me use it a couple of times for my sentiments. Here is my one. And it just means that I would be able to ink that up and stamp it exactly again. Hold on a minute. Oh, that went down the wrong way. Oh, hold on. Let me get a little drink. Oh dear, I can't have a coughing fit. That's not COVID, definitely. That was down the wrong way. So I am a perfectionist, and if I look at that, he's quite dark at the top and a little bit light down here. So if I was using my Stamparatus, I would have gone over him again. But I did say that there is another option, that we have Stampin' Up markers, which are again dye-based ink. They're water-based dye ink. And they just kind of match our ink pads as such. So for every colour of ink pad we have a marker pen. So on the proviso that this works, let me have a quick check. Yeah, a lot of my marker pens have run out a bit. You can go over, so if you have any thin black line really, you could go over, and I'm being pedantic here, it's more a case of being able to show you what to do if you're not happy. I would normally leave this. It just means if you wanted it a bit darker, you could go over it. That's all. So you've got options, but again, look, so I've got my Coastal Cabana, so if I did the stamped image in that, I've then got my Stampin' Up marker that coordinates perfectly and means that if I've missed a bit, I can fill it in as well. So they're always good to have. Plus the Stampin' Up markers mean that you can colour, you can obviously colour in with them, so I could colour in the donkey with the Stampin' Up markers, no problem. But it also means that if I wanted his head to be stamped, the outline in blue and the body in pink, then that's how you get multicoloured stamped images as well, is using water-based markers. Not alcohol-based, they won't work, they dry far too quickly. So by the time you put one colour on the head, it would have dried and you wouldn't be able to, by the time you coloured in the body, you wouldn't be able to do it. So multicoloured stamping, water dye-based or water-based dye ink, and alcohol markers generally for colouring. So let's have a look. So I'm not going to have any other colour in this, am I now? Because we've got this. But I'm going to go grey donkey. So I'm not a professional colourer innerer. Oh, happy birthday, Maggie! So Tina's in Kent. Well, you're not far from me, Tina. So yeah, if you could send that blue skies and sunshine over, that would be lovely. Blowing a hoolie and throwing it down. Herbie has since he stayed indoors. Now I have 2 screens in the shed. I can work and watch you. Oh, that's good. Go you, upgrading IT Central Fiona. So happy birthday, Maggie. He does remind me of EO. He's going to remind me even more of EO in a minute. So our stamping blends come in packs of 2. So they always come as a duo. We haven't got them for every single colour, but we've got them for an awful lot now. Do you know what? I haven't counted. I could quickly. No, I couldn't quickly. It would take a while. But there's got to be 30 to 40 different colours we've got now. So not every single colour, but most of them. So they come in a duo, so light and dark. Each pen has a bullet point end, so a thin line for a thin end, and a thicker line for a brush end. So just to give you those. There's the bullet. Oh, hang on, let's get that right. Oh, hey. Can you see that? That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Oh, there you go. There's the bullet end. And, oh. I'm not doing very well here, am I? And there's your brush end. You get the idea. You can see. You'll see them when I use them anyway. And you have a light and a dark, because you can't tell much of a difference there. I can just about see that's light and that's dark. But again, if you can't see, it says it on the side for you. So it tells you which colour it is and which one it is as well. So you can use them as one colour, just as it is. So I'm going to go dark actually first, because I'm going to do the dark of the ears, so the inside of the ears. So again, I'm no colouring professional. I'm going to put that out there right now. But I have picked up some little tips on my journeys. And obviously there's all the thing about where light comes from and all this, and I'm going to learn about that soon, aren't I, Heather? Looking forward to that. But there are some things you know that are going to be more shaded. So an inside of an ear is obviously, you know, if the sun's coming from any of those angles, it's going to be darker. So I'm just going to do the dark, and I have to concentrate so much doing this. But it is good. It's colouring for adults. It's great. So I'm not doing any shading or anything there. I've just picked the darker colour for that. I'm going to do dark on his hooves. So no shading, no nothing. I'm not getting complicated. I'm going to do his tail as well, actually. So that's just dark, one colour coloured in. But normally, if I'm looking to shade or anything like that, then I will start with the light. If it's a large area, I'll do the brush end, but I'm doing a smaller area and I need to be a little bit more precise. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to colour everything with the light. So he is grey. Now, did you notice, actually, she says, what have I done with it? So let me show you how they have coloured a lot of their donkeys. So can you see that? They've literally just done an outline on a lot of these. So they haven't coloured the whole body, or if they have, they've done it ever so lightly. But the main colouring is just an outline, so you could do that as well. But I like a whole colour, so that's what we're going to do. So if I've done the dark first, I haven't got to worry if I go over it with the light, because you won't see it. And I should have done perhaps a pink nose. Never mind, he's going to be all grey. And I tend to do my outline first. It's quite difficult to talk when I'm colouring. I'm trying not to go over the lines. And as I say, always light first. And we do have like a corrector pen, if you like. So if I did a bad job and went over the side, and if you're OCD like me and that worries you, then we've got a corrector pen that kind of pushes the ink back. But you can see with these, sometimes if you colour with water-based marker pens, you can see the lines. But you on a blend on alcohol-based markers, you don't. So now I'm going to go in with a dark, and I'm going to add where I think it would be dark. And I'm just going a little bit. I'm going to go dark hair, actually. So we'll do that. I'm going to do a bit of dark by his nose. If I'm thinking it's down here, I'm going to do a bit of a wiggle along here and down his back a little bit. Because my son's coming that way. I told you I'm no expert. Heather, look away now. Heather's a great colourer. I'm not. I'm just adding to that. And you know what? You may like that. And you think, okay, I've got a bit of shadow. Although I'm a bit concerned now that this shadow is different to this shadow. But anyway, told you I wasn't an expert. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over with the light. And I'm flooding the area. So I'm kind of making sure. Now you need good paper to do this with. If you've got some low quality paper, the more you go over things, it will start peeling because it gets wet. So it will start peeling up. So you do need a good quality paper. And of course I can help you with that. So once that dries, so you can see, look, it all comes through on the back. Doesn't matter though. And then I'm going to go back over. So I'm using the liquid that is in the light to blend, as the name suggests, with the darker. So, and I might even leave that like that, or I might go up. I'm going to be an expert soon, so it's all good. And the more you colour over the light as well, the more it changes. I might do a bit of dark on his nose. You can do this for hours. That's the problem. You can faff. And it's a very slight difference here. In fact, that dark doesn't show up at all. I've blended it a bit too well there. I might just add a bit like that. And then I can add the same there. And the same there. and I might leave it. So it does take a little bit for it to dry. I mean, it's dry now, as in to touch, but to blend a little bit. But can you see, I mean, it's a very slight difference, and I can't move it up too much because my lights are down here. In fact, I could move my, can I do that? Oh, hang on. So can you see he's got a little bit of shading around his bum, not so much on his nose. I quite like him like that. And I could cut him out and I could do that, but you can see how it is. I mean, look, there you go. There's the brown one. And again, I had a bit of shading around there, a bit of shading there, a bit of shading by his head. That's it. As I say, I'm not an expert. Right, but I do want my sentiment. Right, what sentiment should we have? I still quite like the hey there friend. Hey there friend. So again, I am lucky I have a multitude. I have the Stampin' Up selection box of acrylic blocks. So I've picked my littlest one that they do. Again, put it straight on your grid paper or your mat, and you do your best to try and, this is where it's all going to go wrong, you know that. This is where I should use my Stampin' Artist. I don't know why I'm not. Why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing that? I'm going to do it. Actually, I'm going to do it because I know I'm going to ruin it. I'm on camera. You always get it wrong, don't you? Right. So should we move that over? Oh, look, it's. I do get my money's worth out of my paper. Look at that. Right. So put that in the corner. So what I do is I put my piece of paper in a corner or whatever you want. I've got one magnet. There are two magnets on here, but I only feel the need for one ever. And if you put two too close together and they're the wrong way round, they'll smash together, so we don't want that either. So this is my hey there friend. Make sure it's up the right way. Again, I've got a bit of a straight bit going on there, so I'm going to decide where I want that. That's kind of where I want it. But what and then I put my, oh, not my light. So I'm going to put that there. But what I'm actually going to do, I could just go straight on, but because I am a bit of a perfectionist, I'm not going to necessarily ink that up perfectly, but I just want to make sure that it's straight basically. So if I do that, that's where it's going to stamp. That's pretty good. On that line, that's pretty good. That'll do for me. It's straight enough. And again, I mean, if I just did that, and did that, and did a rubbish stamp, you might go, often you'd sit there and go, oh, that's not great. It's not great. Now you could obviously use your handy dandy Stampin' Right marker to fill it in and make it a little bit stronger. But with the Stampin' Artist, you don't need to do that. So you just ink up and you just keep inking as many times as you like. So I'm going to stamp properly this time. Bit of pressure, proper inking. And you could be happy there. It's a little bit light on the R for me. Yes, because I've got OCD. So you can just keep doing this as many times as you like. There we go. Nice and bold. Hey there, friend. I almost feel like a hee-haw needs to go on there as well. Do I do a hee-haw as well? Don't know. No, do you know what? I like him like that. Right. So that's the Stampin' Artist done. If in doubt, always use your stamping platform. Right, got my memento ink. That's it done with now. So all I need to do is put on some bit of colour and take my pick tool. It's got my little putty on the end here and decide what I'm going to do. So there are 5 colours in the in colour, so I am going to use one of each. In fact, so you've got the Misty Moonlight, Just Jade, Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, and Cinnamon Cider is the 5th one. That's why I coloured him in with Cinnamon Cider. So that because you know me by now, if I've got a Cinnamon Cider dot, I have to have something Cinnamon Cider on there. But I'm going to get over that today because I have to, because I've got nothing Cinnamon Cidery. I could have done the sentiment actually in Cinnamon Cider, couldn't I? And then I'm going to randomly put these. So it's an odd number. You know we have to do odd numbers because that's what's pleasing to the eye. So I'm going to use one of each. Plus it adds some colour. These are stuck on well. And my putty's almost run out. I need to replace that. And so one of each colour, Misty Moonlight. So started with my triangle, remember? Always try and go in a triangle. Look, see, look, I'm reusing this putty way past what I should. Oh, this is where I start getting a bit random. What have we got? One more. Magenta Madness. Stick them up there. Stick them down there. Might stick them down there. I take more time faffing around doing this than anything else. That'll do. Right, so I'm going to bring back in my card base. Look how cute that is. And you can either use dimensionals or lay them flat. I always say, think about the purpose of the card. And if you're posting it, the more layers you start adding, the more dimensionals you start doing. By the time you've got 4 and 5 layers with dimensionals, you are going to start paying more for the postage, because it starts going through as a large letter instead of a normal letter. Right, making sure that I am straight, even border all the way round. There. That was cute. Cute, simple, straightforward. Took way longer than I was expecting, to be fair. I thought I'd only be on here about 20 minutes, but there we go. But hopefully you found out a little bit more about the blends. You found out a little bit more about acrylic blocks and which ones you should be using, and the fact that you should, of course, be using Stampin' Up ones. They are lush. But there we go. That's where I'm going to leave you. So same card, same layout, few tweaks, the gaps, the orientation, the colours of my donkey. Can you see him now? He's dried a bit more. You can see he's got a bit of shading on his bum and his nose now, can't you? And under his ears. So I'm going to leave you there. If you've got any questions, then just tag me. If you've liked it, give me a little thumbs up or a heart. If you don't follow me or like my Facebook page, if you're watching on Facebook now and you want to be notified by Facebook when I next go live, then just hit me with a like on there, or follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, then again, if you don't subscribe to me, if you hit the subscribe button, I would love you to do that. And then YouTube will notify you again. So once I've done this, I kind of upload it to YouTube later this afternoon. So if you miss me 1 week, you can obviously find the replay here on my Facebook page, or if you've missed it and you can't find it, then you can always go to my YouTube channel and they'll always be in there. So Ali loves the brights. Lovely, as usual, great card. Super simple, isn't it? You don't need all the bells and whistles, just some sort of basic stamping and paper and a bit of colouring. Now obviously there's 100 ways you could colour that in. You don't have to have the blends. If you've got watercolour pencils, you could do that. If you had the Stampin' Right markers, you could do that. If you just had the ink pads, but you had what we call a blender pen, which I haven't got to hand at the moment, so not blends, but a blender pen, you can use your ink pads for colouring as well. So various ways, so you don't need all of them, whichever is your preferred method really. But I have to say, I am loving the blends, and I'm eager to learn more. So yes, then I can give you more top tips, but hopefully that's been useful, helpful, and that's it. Way too long. As I said previously, if there is anything that you like here, everything is available to purchase apart from the donkey stamp set. But if you were to get yourself a few packs of blends, some card, the pattern paper, you could get the donkey stamp set for free during celebration, which is now until the end of February 2021 we are in, depending on when you watch this. But anything at all, the stamparatus, trimmers, anything, the inks, can all be purchased from that link there. But other than that, I want to just say thank you for watching, and you can shop anytime, and I will be back next Wednesday for another Watch Me Wednesday with